I shared a story, and I then just talk a little bit about it with my experience with the Blue Wahoos, and one of the best service excellence providers and leaders that I've ever known, Donna Kirby, who works for the Blue Wahoos baseball team organization. It's our AA baseball team here in Pensacola, Florida, affiliated with the Florida Marlins. And I've been a season ticket holder since the inception, but Quint owns the team, and he owned an independent baseball team called the Pensacola Pelicans that we used to play at UWF, and it was some baseball, about a lot of hitting and not much pitching. So a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, met a lot of great people. And then when Quint sold that team and bought the AA team, he gave all of us season ticket holders for the Pensacola Pelicans the first opportunity to choose our seats. So I have really good seats. I was 48. We're 48th on the list. So I have really good seats behind home plate, and it's a great experience. And so the people who sit in section 100 is what it's called. They're pretty serious baseball fans and have been fans for a long time. So they're really there to watch the baseball game and take that in. So several years ago, when I went to the game, they provide great service excellence, but I was walking in, and there was usually Bob is the greeter at section 100, and he wasn't there. And there was another person who was there, and he wasn't terrible, but he just didn't do normally what Bob did. And so I was just like, gosh, they got to do better. This is like the first week of the season. I can't believe that Bob's not here. Where's Bob? And so then I go about the 7th inning to the concession stand, and they didn't really have things going so well. And I'm really trying to watch the game and pay attention to what's going on. And it's just taking me forever, and they're messing up orders. And when I get to the stand and I have to kind of course correct there, and I said, gosh, I'm missing like the best part of the game because they just hit a home run. And they said, well, don't worry about it. You can just watch it on the Gametron, the Scantron up there. You don't really have to watch the real game. And I'm like, oh my God. So, so this is like the first week. I'm like, can't they get it better? So they send a survey out after each game. And so in my most mature self, in the way I provide feedback, I provided feedback that was, not very nice. Let me just put it that way. And so Donna sent me a great note back, and you can read her note that's in the book. But what Donna did with that note is she tempered me with the request of apologizing for what had occurred, and then saying to me, I really want to be able to help. I really want to be able to solve the problem. Can you provide me with more specific feedback so that I know how to help? And so what that did to me, even though I did not provide her with very good professional feedback, what she did was help me provide better feedback. And so I spent time providing very specific feedback. And then what she basically did when she responded to me is let me know Bob was not there because Bob wasn't there that night. She had put a new person, and that was a brand new person. And she said, my fault for putting a new person in section 100. So as the leader, she took ownership, and she said he was really scared, right? He was really scared. And it was my fault for doing that. And then she basically managed up Bob, said, I don't know if you know this about Bob, but here are all his credentials. And I didn't know that about Bob, because Bob's great, by the way, she said. And then you remember Eric. So you remember Eric, who is a general manager of food. And so I'm going to connect you with Eric so that he can really provide help to you, because we want you to have a really good experience. My point here is that was phenomenal service recovery. And Donna saw, even though my feedback was not very professional and mature at first, she didn't let that get in the way of asking deeper questions to help her understand what needed to occur so that they could get better. And what did she do with me? Just reinforced how great they were. And look, I'm telling the story. The story is in my book. That's how much that meant to me. And that's what great service is all about. is our ability to do everything we can to work through the challenges of what we hear that sometimes doesn't feel very good, but to manage through that and to get to the other side. And that's service recovery. So that's having to be reactive. We're going to talk throughout the day too about what can we do to be proactive, so potentially we don't ever get to the place where we're having to do a lot of service recovery. That's what we're trying to get to in the long run, is being very proactive with the tools and tactics that help us get in front of it instead of behind it.